Every day, we learn new and strange information about space, and every day, scientists confirm that it would never have been possible, with current or even future human knowledge, to be prepared for the vast surprises of space. If it were not for God's will to sustain life, it would have been impossible for us to tame the terrifying monsters of space that we discover every day. Welcome, I am Omar, and this is StoryLic. The Earth we live on is just a small planet orbiting the Sun, like the rest of the celestial bodies in the solar system. The Sun is the controlling star that leads the entire solar system. And our solar system is just a small group among billions of systems scattered throughout the universe. The secret behind the connection of these systems lies in gravity. Stars are among the most massive celestial bodies in these systems, and they generate the gravity that keeps all other bodies orbiting around them. However, this does not apply to all planets. In space, there are vast areas completely devoid of gravity because they contain no stars. In these empty regions, there is no gravitational influence. If any celestial body, a planet or otherwise, enters such a region, it will not find a star to pull it, so it begins to move freely in the vastness of space. Scientists call this type of planet rogue planets, or free-floating planets. Interestingly, the number of planets that have escaped the gravity of a star at some point exceeds the number of planets that orbit stars. To give you an idea, scientists estimate that the number of rogue planets in our galaxy, the Milky Way, exceeds the number of stars by a ratio of 1 to 100,000. Notice the number. This means that the number of freely moving celestial bodies is 100,000 times the number of stars in the entire Milky Way galaxy. And if you cannot imagine the size of this number, let me tell you that the number of stars in the galaxy is estimated to be between 100 and 400 billion. Given this terrifying information, rogue planets are considered real monsters that could enter the gravitational field of any star on any day, even if that star is our Sun. If this possibility were to occur, we would not only fear its collision with Earth or any other planet in the solar system, but the mere entry of a rogue planet into the solar system would create a state of tension, and we would pray that it does not collide with anything. Moreover, its presence in the solar system could destabilize Earth's orbit, and if this happens, Earth could move closer to or farther from the Sun, potentially turning it into either a ball of fire or a ball of ice. In fact, theoretically, it is not unlikely that a rogue planet entering the solar system could eject another planet from the system, potentially turning Earth itself into a rogue planet, drifting away from the Sun entirely. Undoubtedly, black holes are the most famous space monsters to people, and they are arguably the most powerful monsters capable of swallowing anything that falls into their gravitational field. It is known that black holes exist at the centers of galaxies, but here we are talking about supermassive black holes, or giant black holes, which reside at the centers of galaxies and can eventually swallow an entire galaxy. As for ordinary black holes, they are similar to the rogue planets we discussed earlier, as they move through space without settling in a specific place, devouring anything they encounter. Scientists estimate that the number of these wandering monsters in the Milky Way alone is no less than 10 million black holes, which scientists call primordial black holes, or small black holes. These are black holes that are still growing and do not settle in one place, devouring anything they come across. Of course, these black holes are subject to all the discussions we had about rogue planets, as they could have a devastating effect if they approach Earth's orbit or any other planet in the solar system. Among the most famous space monsters are also supernovae, known as supernovas. A supernova, in short, is a massive explosion that occurs in the final stages of a massive star's life. However, there is another, less famous but 50 times more powerful explosion, which scientists call a hypernova. This type of explosion has a brightness greater than the combined brightness of all the stars in the galaxy. Can you imagine that? Its brightness is greater than the combined brightness of all the stars in the galaxy. It releases an enormous amount of energy, surpassing the energy produced by our Sun throughout its entire existence. Additionally, these explosions emit tremendous amounts of gamma rays, quantities that are almost beyond the limits of scientific understanding. The exact effects of such a hypernova explosion occurring in our galaxy are not precisely known. Thankfully, this type of explosion is extremely rare in space. Scientists believe that the only observation of this type of explosion was in another galaxy about 25 million light-years away. There is a new type of star that scientists consider a monstrous evolution of neutron stars, which are stars that reach extreme density with an incredibly strong magnetic field. However, the new type of neutron star, first discovered in 1979, has a magnetic field 1,000 times stronger than the usual magnetic field. Scientists have named this type Magnetars. The magnetic field of these stars is so ferocious that in 2004, a flare from a magnetar located 50,000 light-years away caused a compression in Earth's magnetic field. Scientists say that if this star were located 200,000 kilometers from Earth, it would have the ability to pull the iron buried in Earth's core. But don't worry, this is just a hypothetical scenario to illustrate the strength of these stars' magnetic fields. Thankfully, this magnetic monster is millions of kilometers away from us, and the 200,000 kilometers, although 5 times the circumference of Earth, are less than half the distance between Earth and the Moon in astronomical terms. What reduces the danger of this ferocious monster is that it is one of the rarest types of stars in the universe. According to scientists, there are about 3,000 magnetars in the observable universe, but only 31 have been confirmed with certainty. However, the biggest problem for scientists regarding this type of star is that they do not have enough information about them. To this day, scientists do not know exactly what conditions give rise to these terrifying magnetic stars. This means that there is a possibility that any star near us could turn into a magnetar one day. In an attempt to solve this mystery, astronomers in 2017 launched an instrument called NICER, whose mission is to understand the nature and internal composition of stars. And so we have reached the end. If you made it this far, you are amazing. Don't forget to like the video before you leave so we know how many people made it to the end. And if you have suggestions for future episodes, write them in the comments.